Wow. Thanks for that, guys. Wow. I'm sorry, guys. I knew I was like missing some chat. I should have like looked faster. I'm sorry, guys. Wow, I'm sorry. So we have an ad that's going to be starting in about 30 seconds, and then once that ad is done, I guess I'll just start from the top. It's been one of those days where I felt a little bit rushed today because like I got to a point in my edit that I couldn't progress until something else happened. I need a couple pieces of footage, and so I went and I just started like scrolling on Facebook and YouTube, and you know how that goes. You just get lost in it. And so I didn't realize how late it was until it was really late. So I kind of rushed out here to do as much as I possibly could, as fast as possible. And then I forgot. I forgot I needed to unmute myself. I'm sorry, guys. Mime rehearsal, that's a thing. Yes. So thank you guys for letting me know that I was muted. I'm sorry. I should have looked faster. But yeah, the highlighted message, it totally worked, you know? Oh, okay. It's all right. It's over there. Um, I don't know. It said that it was supposed to, like, it said that the ad was supposed to start. I don't know if it started or not. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. There it goes. So I guess once this ad is over, like I said, I'll start from scratch from the top and we will try this again. Um, but yeah, we've got ad time, so might as well just like, relax and kind of center myself, get ready to, start and try this again. Oh, goodness. I always try very hard to like unmute the stream before I hit the transition. And today I must have just forgotten that I had done that. The reason I end up muting is because I have a tendency to hit start stream and before I mic up, right? And if I am plugging in all of the little cords for the mic, there's all these little pops and clicks and that's not pleasant to listen to that, and I have to like test and whatnot. So yeah, that's why I normally mute it. One of these days I'm just not going to because it's just annoying to unmute it and I always forget. Well, not always, but enough that it is kind of annoying. So yeah, how are we doing on ads? The community is back. Awesome. All right. So today we are going to be continuing working on our axe jacket. So I was looking at the axe jacket today when I was starting to get things ready. And what I noticed that there's a couple of rips here in the center from when we opened this up on Monday. And that's just because, when you move a piece of metal, when you bend it and bend it out, it just starts ripping. But it's not very deep. So we should just be able to grind it out with the angle grinder and then continue to get this guy ready for forge welding. Um, so I do have some good news for you guys. My partner accrued too many like personal days, I guess. And so in order to continue to accrue more personal days, they have to take one off. And so they're just going to take Friday off. So we're going to do forge welding in the coal forge take 2 on Friday. So instead of doing it on the weekend, I mean, since they're home both days, we might as well just stream it. So today's stream, we will be getting this as close to ready to forge weld as we possibly can so that it's a lot easier and a lot quicker. And then all I have to do is fight with the forge weld, right? So yay for having to take days off so that we don't lose days off, right? Yay, nice long holiday weekend. Yes, so my partner and I will be, or my partner will be home until Tuesday, I guess, because of Labor Day, which is Monday. So that's really, really exciting for me. And that also means that, I get help out here. So that's really, and that makes me happy. It's a lot easier when my partner is here and I don't have to like juggle the cameras and everything. All right. So I think I've covered everything that I covered while I was muted. All right. So, first thing, like I said, first thing that we're going to do is we are going to grind out these rips. I usually end up with it or with use it or lose it vacation time at the end of the year. Yeah, my partner does too, but they can only accrue so much vacation time or personal days or whatever. It's all the same for this company for whatever, sick days, vacation days, personal days, it's all the same. So they can only hold so many days at a time. So if they get too many, they have to take them off. And that is what is occurring right now. All right. So I have this guy relatively securely in the vise. I do need to move the camera over there because, I guess I don't know if you heard it or not because I might have just explained this like when I was muted, but I spent way too much time trolling Facebook today and definitely not enough time getting ready for the stream. And so I am a little bit discombobulated. All right, let's focus this camera on the interior of this piece, this jacket. That's interesting. There are some workmen over there. That's going to be in the camera, in the way. So I don't know. I think that might actually be the best place to put it. Man, I have been like looking at all my videos and realizing that I don't have a lot of angles that I change for the stream. So I'm trying to like get a little bit better about that, but I'm not amazing with it. All right. We're good. I think we're good. Hey, Poach. Hello, welcome to the stream. Facebook is a source of most of my memes, right? Facebook is an amazing source of memes, but it is also an amazing source of distraction. And so, yeah, I spent way too much time trolling Facebook today and not enough time paying attention to what I should be doing and getting ready for the stream. So, yeah. Things and stuff. All right. Let's start. Like I said, the rips are not amazingly deep, so it's not going to take us a lot of time. You can kind of see there where I've gotten rid of them, and if I look this way, you might actually be able to see the rip that's right there. So that's the goal, is to grind out the rip. All right. right, and as you can see there, the rip is gone. Exciting. Now it won't, or it shouldn't develop any further. So we haven't actually lost all that much material on these sides as well, or either. So I think we're pretty good. All right. Power tools, yes. Power tools are always the best. All right. So that's not the first time, or I mean, I guess that's not the last time that we are going to be grinding stuff today. We will, if we can get this close enough to ready to forge weld, I will probably actually start grinding the areas that are going to be forge welded, that are going to touch the bit. But we'll see how far we get with this. It definitely depends on how easy it is to close this back up again. I'm pretty happy with that end that we've got there. So now I think it is time to close it up again. So we shall see how well this happens. After we close it, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take it over to the press. And we're going to try and kind of draw this out a little bit. It's a little bit on the wide side, so I want to thin it out a little bit. And we're going to see if we can't do that on the press. I'm not entirely sure how well that'll work. We might just do like 1 or 2 passes on it just to see if it works at all. And if it doesn't, you know, it doesn't. If not, you know, we shall see. All right, so now it is time to start up the forge. And I need to change the propane, but because it's propane changing time, I don't know if you guys can see this. I used a different marker today. This is supposed to say Mahalo because our propane is brought to us today by Mahalo, because Mahalo donated some money to us on KoFi. So thank you so much, Mahalo, for your donation. Thank you so much for sponsoring our propane tank today. So yes, I hope you guys can see the sign. I can't, maybe you can, I can't tell. It's too little. Like my little screen is too little, but I hope you guys can see it. But thank you, mahalo. Thank you so, so much. So we are going to figure out what I did with my wrench. Oh, please tell me it's not in the truck, or I mean in the van. It might actually be in the van. What did I do with my wrench? Ugh. I was playing in the van earlier. Oh, there's one. There it is. I found it. Here it is. It's my wrench. So we were using it in the van on Sunday, and I haven't had to change my propane since then. So I guess I thought I had pulled it out, but I guess I did. It just wasn't in the place that I thought it was. Man, there are a lot of people passing in front of the shop today. That is really, really unusual. There's a whole bunch of people walking out there, and then there's also some workmen that are working next door because they're tearing out 2 houses. They're gonna put tennis fields and racquetball courts out there. Alrighty. There's that. So I apologize for how long this is taking. I should have had this done. But I really wanted you guys to, you know, I wanted to make a big deal about the sponsorship, you know? All right. Okay. Well, at least it fell off of the whole, or off of the swage block and into my pocket. There it goes. All right, let's do this. Okie doke, guys. Exciting, exciting. So we've got lots of stuff going on in the shop recently. I spent a good amount of time yesterday out in the small shop, kind of cleaning it out a little bit. So if I open the doors and turn on the light, you guys can kind of see it's a little bit cleaner in there, or maybe you guys can see that. I don't know if you can or not. So it's a little bit cleaner in there than it has been in the past. I had a few pieces of furniture just like sitting there. So I put those in the house and I've started cleaning things up. So I am planning on doing a shop tour for a video in the near future. Probably will be a few weeks before I'm actually able to do that. And then I've actually set up I've gathered all of my jewelry tools, and I've set myself up a jeweler's bench. So we've got some exciting new happenings. I'm hoping that we'll be able to kind of set up or do some jewelry work, some silversmithing, and maybe even a little bit of clay sculpting. So we'll see what we get to this winter, and I'm pretty excited to add a few other processes to the stream. Progress! Hey Yankee, welcome to the stream. I'm so glad you guys have joined us. So yeah, you can kind of see I have put the drill press in there. We're going to move the bench grinders in there, and so that's just going to be everything that I do that's like mostly cold. We're going to do it in there, and so this is going to be the smithy and welding and that sort of thing. So I will have the chop saw in here or in this room just because I can't really, there's not enough space in that shop to cut my 10-foot sections of steel. So that's kind of stuck in the main shop area. But yeah, we're going to add to our space, to our sets, and we will have several places that we can go and work in. So I really want to give you guys a shop tour that includes all of that space so that you guys can kind of see what's going on with, where everything is, and kind of orientate yourselves to the new spaces. So that is coming. In the near future, or hopefully the near future. We've got a few more projects in the list that we are going to be doing out here in the main smithy area. I mean, we still have the nails that we got to do and the hot cut, and I've got a couple other things that I'd like to do, like tools that need to actually go in that shop. So we are going to make a couple new stakes for doing bowl raising. So we're going to take flat sheet of like copper and brass, so we're going to turn it into bowls and like bases and things like that. And so I need a couple new pieces or new tools to make that happen. So that's in the plan. We're going to be using this piece of A2 for that because it's nice and hard tool steel. It works very, very well for making steaks. Not like meat steaks, but steaks for, I don't know, hammering metal on. So I guess they're more like anvils almost. kind of like the horn of the anvil, but not exactly. So it's going to take a little bit of time for us to heat up that piece of steel. And yeah, so let's see. What else is going on? Lots of stuff. Steak. Yes. Steak sounds good. I didn't get to eat until I was like full for lunch today. I kind of had like a little snack and had to come out here because I'm, you know, running late because Facebooking. But so I'm a little hungry, guys. We might get to talking about food again. Yeah. I need to eat some food at some point. All right. In the middle of my cleaning and the shuffling of the coal forge or the shop from outside to inside, I lost my chalk holder. So I've got a couple pieces of like chalk just laying around places. But yeah, I don't know what I did with a couple of tools of mine that they kind of got lost in the shuffle. So when we shuffle on Friday again, I'll have to look for them. I'm pretty sure it's all just on the floor in places. There's still some stuff I need to like sweep up and pick up off of the floor. I have, like I said, I've been doing a little bit of cleaning, but not in this area. It was mostly in that area. Oh, today I released the video about this hammer on YouTube today. So it's a little bit over 6 minutes long. It's one of my longer videos on the channel. I mean, not like the 20-minute long videos while I was like still getting used to, or to editing. But yeah, we have about a 6-minute overview on this particular hammer when we made it. So if you guys are interested in looking at a condensed version of that, it is now up on YouTube. And I even left in all of our like funny moments, like when I got the punch stuck in the hole. I left that in there, and then I also left in some when we were fighting with the tongs. So I just think that it's a little bit of extra personality in the videos. And I also enjoy the fact that I can show that even an experienced smith isn't always like 100% on top of everything all the time. So, you know, I do still struggle with stuff, and you can definitely see that here and now with this axe. I've definitely been struggling with this project as well. So I hope you guys enjoy that video, and it is up for you guys to take a look at your leisure. Alrighty. So I'm now kind of thinking that maybe instead of folding this in half, maybe we'll run it through the press first. We might be able to lengthen it, and we'll be able to get in it and under it in case we accidentally warp it. So I think I am going to change the dies real fast, or like change them back the other direction. Because right now they're kind of vertical instead of horizontal. So, well, yeah. Let's see if I can do this. Oh, it's because I have another whole clamp on it. Goodness gracious. Alright. So we'll put this one on this direction. And then this one on this direction. And then, goes down here, like so. Always realizing, or, you know, always a little bit discombobulated, I think. I think that's part of the stream, though. I think that's just part of me. All right. That should be on there relatively well. And now, let's see about putting that in there. And this clamp. If I can manage to get it on here, that would be great. There we go. All right. This is a little bit on the wider side, so we're going to pull this down. There we go. And that's go in there for now. All right. Hey, Bluesy. Hi, Ray. Last day of the year. You'll see me on Wednesday. I will be teaching my tractor mechanics class starting next week. I do that every year, September to June. Ooh, tractor maintenance. That sounds like fun. And you know what? That is a great service to provide. You know, there are so many tractors that, you know, there are so many like farmers that don't have the skill to fix things, and like just younger people don't have the skills to fix things like they used to. So being able to fix your own equipment, it makes things a lot cheaper. So, and a lot, it's also a lot faster to fix your own stuff as opposed to having to take it to the shop and wait until the work people can, you know, get to your equipment. So I'm very glad that you're able to provide that class. So have fun with it. I build tractor electronic units. Awesome. Not necessarily cheaper, but faster. I mean, yeah, I guess I don't really know, you know. But I mean, like I said, it's probably a lot faster, you know, to be able to do it yourself, because then when it breaks, you can immediately fix it as opposed to, you know, waiting until the shop opens and all that. You are the reason I went away from Deere. Yeah, John Deere has really, really complicated inner workings in their tractors now. Everything is electronic. I mean, it's the same with like cars too. Everybody wants to put an iPad in the dash of your car, and I'm always afraid that, like, you know, I'll get a car with an iPad in it, and then it won't update, and then I'll be forced to buy another car, you know, with that forced obsolescence. So I'm always, you know, apt to buy a car that, you know, doesn't have an iPad in it. Oh, Corwin doesn't work for Deere. That's probably, you know, I don't know. I mean, I thought maybe, or I guess that would have been my first thought, since you live in Iowa, since Deere is, but I mean, I guess you don't live in my old hometown, so that's where John Deere's headquarters and most of their like their factories are, is in Moline, Illinois, and like the Moline, Davenport, Rock Island, and Bettendorf area. They have a lot of, all of their corporate offices are there, and then also like there are some factories we're putting them together. Not necessarily for making the parts, but putting them together. I make yield monitoring sensors, GPS, and displays. Ooh. Fancy. No, it is really logical, but they just do not allow us farmers any access. It's as if they think we do not buy our tractors but rent them. Yeah, John Deere really wants you to be, or to pay them to fix your tractors. But yeah, we are on ad time. So once this ad is over, I'm going to see about running the axe through the press. So you know what? I need to plug in the press because I unplugged it so that we could use the grinder. And then I also need to reorient the camera so you guys can see what I'm doing. There. All right. All right, so that's on now. Now let's lower the press a little bit. We'll probably lower it to this mark right here. And then we'll take a look and see if I think that is low enough. It probably is, though. Maybe we'll go up a little bit lower. All right, we are now ready. Exciting. Okay, so once this ad is done, we'll probably go and start working on the press. Oh, there is a Deere factory 25 minutes south of you, Orwin. That is so cool. I mean, you do live semi-near my hometown, so that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, John Deere has a lot of, like, factories and, like, stuff in that area. That is the main reason I went away from Deere. We do not make a lot of money, but it's cheaper to use an expensive Lamborghini tractor for a season than to use a mid-tier Deere, just with maintenance costs. Interesting. I don't know that I would have guessed that, but I guess it makes sense that Lamborghini would make trucks, or I mean tractors. I don't know. Maybe they don't. All right, let's see what happens if I attempt to run this piece through the press. Now, there is a chance, this is kind of an experiment, there is a chance that I will accidentally fold this in weird ways, and we might have to come back over to the horn of the anvil to kind of correct it. But we're gonna see what we can do first. And then, we'll see what this does first, and then we'll assess from there. And it helps when I change the view. All right. I'm going to show you guys what's going on here. It doesn't look too bad. I think that it might actually grow a little bit. So we'll have to work on both sides of this and flip it upside down periodically as well, so that we have the same growth on both sides. So basically what we're doing is we are pinching this area here to kind of lengthen this out a bit. Lamborghini made tractors before they made cars. Interesting. It's crazy how expensive farm equipment is. Yeah, there's this meme where a person states on X or such, a tractor can cost over $100,000, and instead of farmers sitting at the table looking at one another and ask, what can you buy with that? The other response, I don't know. The wheels? That is kind of funny, actually. But I mean, I feel like anything that you make significant chunks, or that, you know, has the possibility to make significant chunks of money, people really want you to have to like make that big investment purchase. So, you know, like housing and cars and, you know, anything that's a big investment. That does not want to go that direction. I don't know why this is being dumb. I didn't have this as an issue before. What is my problem? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Goodness gracious, guys. Is it working? No. There we go. Now it's starting to catch. There we go. Okay. A small tractor can weigh around 30 tons. Oh, wow. It's just the sheer amount of redundancy you have to build in, and the fact that that a smaller trailer can weigh 30 tons. Jeez. So lots of material. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. You know, lots of raw material, and raw material is really volatile in the system. Like, you know, it fluctuates severely with the economy. All right. So it seems like this is working for the moment. There is always a chance that I can screw this up, but theoretically, you know, the theory works. So we shall see. If we can't get it to work on the press, we should be able to get it to work on the horn. I can control it a little bit easier on the horn, but I can get a lot more work done with a lot less effort on the press. So we shall see. Yeah, and well, you can go lighter, but the big problem is that the lighter you go, the less weight you can pull. Yeah, that's definitely true. It's like it's like the people. There's a whole bunch of people here in the United States that will take these really, really big trailer, like campers, and they'll hook them up to like these teeny little trucks, and they'll try and drive them around, and it's like it wrecks the engine because they're trying to pull something that's so heavy. It's too heavy for the engine. So that's what that kind of reminds me of. I also have seen like a tractor trying to pull a trailer that's too big, and the tractor just like tips up and it pops a wheelie. I can imagine, but I mean, I think the tractors that I'm imagining are a lot smaller than the tractors that you are talking about, Lizzie. I think the tractors that you're talking about are the really huge ones that pull the combines. I'm thinking about, you know, the little tractors that are smaller than a car. That's what my grandfather had on his farm. And it had like the big wheels that were like yay tall or whatever. And it just had like, you know, the front end was like this wide, and it, you know, it's kind of small. It's smaller than a car. Indeed. Oh, that's just done because they did not pull enough weight in front. That makes sense too, you know. All right, we're gonna do another heat. Oh, I guess the hammers are sitting in the way. Can you guys see are the hammers too distracting? I hope they're not. Oh, those grown-up lawn tractors. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. The grown-up lawn tractors. My grandpa had one when I was a kid. Seems like it's working pretty good. Not terribly bad. It's doing about what I think that it should do. So we're gonna flip this so that we can start working on this side. Get a little bit more length that we're drawing out. Pretty spooky trying to stop a load going downhill with a wimpy tractor. I'll bet, yeah. Oh, you don't mind the hammers? Well, as long as the hammers aren't too terribly distracting. What happened is I have a stick welder, and it was in that room, and so I brought it out here because it uses a 220 plug-in, and I only have one of those, and it's in here anyway. So normally I have the hammers pushed in further, but there is a stick welder in the way now. I got to kind of figure out how I want to arrange these like 4 pieces of equipment here. They're a little bit meh, so hopefully I'll come up with something, you know, that is better for our space. And you guys won't have to look over the hammers to see the press eventually. So yeah. So my grandpa really, he had one of those like, you know, oversized lawn tractors, but really he only used them to like pull the hay rack. Anytime he had to do anything like big, like plowing or planting or harvesting or anything like that, he'd actually borrow the tractors and machinery from one of the neighbors down the road. So they had this co-op where they would borrow machinery and like kind of pay a little bit, and so it was kind of a group effort. There was like several farmers in that area that like put in and would use the same equipment for their for like the big stuff, you know? You need a stick welder, so hey, you can stick weld with oxyacetylene. I could. Corwin says that my previous job, someone with a forklift was moving a heavy pallet that was too heavy, so it popped a wheelie. So a 400-pound coworker got on the back of it. Oh wow. With modern equipment, sometimes all you need to do is control the speed, and it drives and operates for you. I've heard that too. That the new equipment's really, really fancy. But most of my experience is like older equipment from like the 80s, because I was a really little kid when my grandparents sold the farm. My grandma had to sell it after my grandpa passed away. So they moved into the city, and I was probably like 13. So I was just getting to the point where I would have been able to start helping around the farm. So I never got to actually help. All right, we're gonna do another heat. Man, my hands are filthy today. What's that? Dropped it. Raw. Not too bad. We're going to tip this up in this direction so that we can come around and hit it from the other side. Or at least I'm going to try to. I don't know. We'll see. Get rid of a little bit of the scale that seems to be developing before I put this back in the press. Alrighty. Farm kids here start helping when they're 8 or 9. Small jobs, picking up eggs or cleaning coops and picking berries, stuff like that. Interesting. I mean, I would have probably helped, but I was a very small child. I also think my mom didn't really want me to, I was already a pretty big tomboy. I don't know. I guess I played in the cow pastures, but I didn't really help too much. I did a little bit of lawn mowing occasionally, and I rode the horse, but I guess I didn't live on the farm. I was only there on the weekends. So I didn't do a lot of helping. I'm surprised that you, Miss Swifty, hasn't said anything about the recent news. Okay, so the reason I have not actually said anything about the recent news is because I'm trying not to, inundate you guys with how excited I am for Taylor Swift right now. So yeah, she and Travis Kelce are engaged, so that's really exciting. The pictures were really pretty, and yeah. But I'm also really looking forward to her new album. Super excited. But yeah, I'm trying not to, be really excited about it because I know that my demographic is primarily men, and, Taylor Swift isn't as big of an interest for you guys. Lawn mowing. Yes. So yeah, Taylor Swift is going to marry the football man, or the American football man. Because it's not even real football, It's American football. But that's all I'll say about that, because I don't want to get overly, excited or excitable about that. Because I could talk for hours about it. The Chiefs are my number 2 team, so I hear a lot about it. Yeah. So in 2 years you will cry because they divorce. I'm not gonna get into, but yeah. I don't know. But yeah, so the Chiefs, they're actually the closest football team to the area that I live in, or, the St. Louis area. We used to have the Rams, but they moved to California, and so we don't like the Rams anymore because they betrayed us. So I believe the Chiefs are our new team here in the St. Louis area. But I mean, the Cardinals, the St. Louis Cardinals baseball team, they're still here, and that's the main team. And the Blues, our hockey team, the Blues. Go Blues. Or she'll have another album coming out then. See, I'm all about the albums. Yes, that is basically how Taylor Swift songs happen, is, she gets into a big, exciting relationship and then breaks up. But I just like her music. She can have whatever personal life makes her happy. Just give me music. The football Cardinals used to be in St. Louis for a while, and Chicago before that. Yeah. So we have lost 2 football teams, because we did have the Cardinals, and then we had the Rams, and they both abandoned us. The NFL just doesn't like St. Louis. They actually do. They took the old Rams Stadium, and now it's a convention center. So occasionally I'll go there to go and visit a comic book convention or other stuff. One time I actually went to a fencing tournament just to watch, just to see what was going on with that. They also have a yearly boat show there. So it's really interesting. It's this giant football stadium, and we only use the rooms now. We don't use the football field. All right, I'm gonna do another heat though. All right. We've got a little bit of buckling happening here now. So we're going to go over to the anvil and straighten it out for our next heat. All right, so I am going to move the camera. Actually, I'm gonna try a new view and you guys can tell me what you think of it. I don't know that I like this view, but we always use the same view and it gets boring sometimes. So if you guys like this, let me know. If not, I will change it. But we're gonna do one heat this way just to see like if it works. So yes, I want to know if this anvil camera works well, if you guys can see what's going on, or if you prefer our normal angle. I'm trying to be a little bit different because I think it gets boring seeing the same view of the anvil all the time. And really that's just me because I'm editing a video of just anvil shots and they're all the same point of view and I just got bored. So we'll see. Let me know what you guys think. The football, oh, I already said that one, or I read that one. So yeah, I have no idea how well this particular view will work, but I'm gonna take a look. We'll see. It's probably just you. I mean, it is probably just me that finds it boring, but you know, I want to be fancy, guys. I want my videos to be fancy. I look at, you know, Alex Steele and Black Bear and all of the other YouTubers, and they have all kinds of different views of their anvil, and I feel like we use the same one all the time. So we shall see. Let me know if you like it or if it's bad. If it's a bad angle, we'll just go back to the old standard. So we have a set of ads coming up shortly. Are they? Oh, it's in 1 minute and 3 seconds. According to my little thingy, it says that the ad break is coming. So we will, after the ad break, we're going to come over here to the anvil, and then I'm going to show you the new angle. And you guys could be like, Ray, too much fancy. So today, it's still pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about that. Well, that was fun. I had like just the dregs in the bottom of my cup, and the fan, apparently it was blowing so hard that it knocked over my water. I guess I don't get to use this cup anymore because now there's dirt all over it. That's all right. I came prepared. I'm being lazy and I haven't cleaned out my my jerry can that I usually fill with water lately, and really it's because my partner filled it with bath water on Friday and it tastes awful, and then it smelled awful when I dumped it out, so I need to wash it and I haven't gotten around to it. Okay, we're good to go on all our little cameras and everything. Probably. Well, don't throw your partner out with the bath water, right? See, my partner isn't a baby, though, you know? You gotta throw the baby out with the bathwater, or I guess the phrase is don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You know, my cat is my baby. I'm not gonna throw my cat out with the bathwater. I don't think my cat would like bathwater to begin with. He's self-cleaning. I don't have to bathe him. So we've got plenty of heat, but we are waiting on this ad to finish up before we do our next heat. I believe that we're probably going to do it here on the main face of the anvil. Maybe? Probably. We might move over to like the heel or the horn depending on like how this goes. I'm kind of making this up as I go, pulling it out of my ass, as it were. So yeah, I'm super excited that we are definitely going to be able to do another attempt at forge welding on Friday. I wasn't sure that we were going to be able to do that, and yeah, so we are, and that makes me happy because then you guys will be able to see the whole process. I always feel bad when I have to finish things up over the weekend, you know? Alrighty, we're gonna do another heat. You know what? I forgot to change the cameras. Here. I don't even know if this is gonna work right. I don't know. Let me do that. That might be a little bit better of a view. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? Yes, no, maybe so on this new camera angle. Yeah. Alright, I think I like that. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to shove it in the forge like this, and then we're going to work on this on the anvil face. Alright, so what do you think? Yes, no, maybe so on this camera angle. Looks good. Okay, well, maybe I'll use this angle sometimes. But I will still use our normal angle, which is like right over there. So we shall see. We'll kind of like mix it up a little bit just to give ourselves a little bit of interest. Visual interest, so that you guys don't get too bored with the camera angles. I'm experimenting. I try to do this a significant amount of time. I'm also learning about editing and what I want to see and what my video or what I want my videos to look like. Because I have to do all of this by myself. So I only have myself to blame when I realize that I've done something really screwball and stupid, and I regret doing it when I'm editing it, because you know that's editing Ray's problem. But yeah, what I do here is editing Ray's problem, and I want to make her life a little easier. So, what have you guys been up to lately? Like I said, I've been doing a lot of editing and scrolling through Facebook, you know? What have you guys been up to? Anything exciting? I've never seen you do anything that would warrant that feeling. I mean, I don't know. I get bored, you know, editing my own footage. I just want everything to look all fancy and stuff. I just want to keep improving. Make the videos entertaining. Because I myself, if I can't watch my own video, you know, how do I expect other people to want to watch it? Harvest is over. I'm getting ready to teach again. Yay, teaching! Started making a set of tongs with railroad spikes. Been busy with wrestling shows in new towns. Wrestling shows. Are you a wrestler, or do you like film them or watch them? But yeah, I love teaching, and I mean, you guys could probably guess that I love teaching because I just, you know, I get up here and I try and teach you guys as much as I possibly can, you know, 3 times a week. I try. I'm a pro wrestling referee, but I also watch WWE. Ooh, a referee? That's interesting. Is there like local wrestling leagues? Is it like WWE wrestling, or is it more like, you know, boys wrestling in high school? What type of wrestling do you referee? Greetings, Ping. Welcome to the stream today. We are testing out a new camera angle. It seems like it's going all right, but you know. All right, I'm gonna do another heat. Y'all can see like my shoulder when I'm flipping the camera angle. I don't know if I like that. I think that's starting to look all right, guys. I think that's starting to look all right. Take a look at that. So what I think I'm going to try to do next is I'm going to try and fold this so it's this shape instead of this shape. You know, right now we've got like a partially open hand. I want to close it to, you know, be about perpendicular with each other with this area. So that's what I'm trying to do next. I don't think it grew much, but I think it looks nice. Oh, you put a magnet on the anvil or bordered a round thing on it? Oh, so this has actually always been here. It's my, it's there. It is a rare earth magnet, and it is there specifically to deaden the anvil's ring. I used to have 2. One was under the horn of the anvil, and one was under the heel of the anvil. And the one that was under the heel is the one that's currently there. And it, I put it over there because we were using the drifts and for the hammer, and it kind of got stuck when I was trying to put the drift through the hole so that we could work on it with the press, and I never put it back. The one under the horn, I broke it, so I need to buy another one to put underneath the horn to deaden that sound. Never noticed it. I mean, I've discussed them before, but I don't know if you were here on those streams. But yeah, if you put a magnet or a giant chain or some other like giant piece of steel on your anvil, it will actually deaden some of the ring, that resonance that happens when you are hammering on it. And it's easier for me to deal with magnets than with giant chain. So that's what I try to do. Yeah. I gotta remember to leave myself time, like make sure that I get off of the Facebooks at like maybe noon. That way I'm like able to get ready for the stream and make sure that I get a proper meal. Like I said, I only really had like a snack, which is all right because like we're only a 2 hour or 2.5 hour stream. So once the stream's over, I'll have another snack and I'll be fine for dinner. But I'm a little bit hungry. That I know. That's why many blacksmiths have anchor chain around their anvil. Yes. Note to self: no memes after noon. Yes. Yes. And that is noon Central Time, so that would be like 1 p.m. Eastern. Because I'm in Central, here in the St. Louis area. Alrighty. Let's do another heat. I keep forgetting, like, what direction I want this to be. Or what direction this is. Alright. So let's see. How is this gonna go? We're gonna try this way. Maybe not. Maybe I don't know. How am I gonna do this? I need to grab it from a different place, like right here. That way I can make sure that I am evenly hammering this in a way that is not going to cause me issues later. It looks like we're starting to fold on this one where we cut out the rips, which is where we were hammering it before. So I need to be a little bit more careful. I think I'm going to grab the other set of tongs. I keep trying to show you guys that direction, but you're this way this time. So I'm going to use a different set of tongs to hold it like this, because we're starting to see a little bit of folding in the areas where it was ripping previously because it's a little bit thin. And I want to make sure that we're very careful in those areas so that we don't cause ourselves issues. But overall, not too bad. Oh, I put this in such a way that it's going to be very difficult to get this back in the forge without dropping things. Noon, so 5 a.m. your time. After all, there is but one correct time, and that's mine. I mean, you know, I am actually going to move the camera over that direction so that I could have a little bit of variety in my shots. At least I think I am. I'm going to try to. Because variety is the spice of life. Bring this back a little bit. Okay. Coolies. There we go. Now let's see if I can get back through this area without tripping. Cool. I can prove it to you using physics and philosophy. I'll bet you could. I mean, you know, you are the center of your own universe, right? And I am the center of my own universe. And my impression of you guys is something different than who you truly are, and your impression of me is something different than who I truly am. I thought cayenne was the spice of life. I mean, cayenne is a pretty good spice. Probably not my favorite, but it is up there. I do like cayenne. I don't know what my favorite spice is. I really like oregano. But if you're talking spices, sriracha is pretty good. The other spice that's really, really good is I really enjoy curry spice. That's a good spice too. You know what? I need both of these so I can pull this out and then hold it the way I want to. All right. Let's see if I can make this happen. I don't know if I can or not. Okay. Let's do another heat. We're back to our original view. Hopefully that's not too jarring that we're doing multiple angles now. Or I could just drop those, that's fine. I don't mind dropping things, right? As long as we're not dropping our steel, which is exactly what I just did. Dropping steel. Okay. So we're going to heat this back up and we're going to try this again. We'll see what I can do, if I can make this happen. So the goal that I'm trying to do is I'm trying to maintain relative straights on these areas here, and I want to fold this area right here. So once we get to a more perpendicular, the two sides are more perpendicular, what I'm going to do is I'm going to compress this back end or back edge and see if I can't manage it to do that without ripping it some more. Or maybe I just won't be able to get it in the forge with the bricks in the shape that they're in. There we go. Holy moly. Not even that. Okay, let's get started. An axiom. Without an observer, there is no time. According to Plato, the world is merely a set of shadows that you see as an observer, or that you as an observer can see. We do not know what causes these shadows. Descartes says, I think, therefore I am. I can only know definitively what I think. You can all just be well-written simulations. Therefore, there is only one time, mine, because I am the only observer. Okay, that is a theory. I mean, it works. I mean, it's similar, you know, in thought. Is that I am the only observer, and therefore I can only know what I already know. You know, I can only see what I see. Oh, that is an axia or an axiom. Okay. Maybe I don't. Or I. It's. I know. I've heard the word axiom, but I'm not entirely sure that I remember the difference between a theory and an axiom. I suppose if I want to say an axiom is like an addendum almost. So you've got your theories, and then your axioms come after your theories, but I could be wrong on that one. A truth. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. A truth. We can go with that. Let's see. Is there a better piece or a better pair of tongs that I can actually use for this? Maybe I'll just use these tongs. We'll see. Yeah, it's been a really long time since I've done any math or philosophical proofs or learned about them. I think it's been since college. I learned a while ago that I don't remember what things are called very often. Like I did a Mad Lib, and I couldn't figure out what an adjective was. Like, what is an adjective? I thought it was like an adverb or like a, you know, a noun or something. Yeah, I'm not very good at that. I mostly know like metal stuff, and a little bit of gaming stuff, a little bit of art. All right, we're gonna do another heat. We've got just enough time for that before our next ad interrupts us. All right, can I get this out of here? Looks like maybe. All right, we're starting to get there. We're now getting to a point where we're really going to have to start focusing in on these sections right here. So I'm thinking that we might actually start working on the heel of the anvil a little bit to kind of get those focused in and pressed down. Right now, I kind of feel like it's really, really wide in this section, so we could almost put our axe handle on sideways. And so I gotta fix that. If I can get this in here. There we go. So, a little pop culture reference for you guys. Are you guys familiar with the Netflix movie K-pop Demon Hunters? It's been really, really popular. It's like the #1 Netflix movie right now, and it also had like a theatrical release, like a sing-along version, and so that's also been doing really well. It's been a big box office hit, and the reason that I bring it up is that that is the music that is stuck in my head right now, and it's really been stuck in my head for like a month now. Yeah, it's so catchy. I know of it, haven't seen it. I don't even know what K-pop is. My kids love it. Yes. So K-pop is Korean pop music, so it's like a lot of electronic, bubbly pop, and it's specifically and mathematically designed to get stuck in your head. And it's done its job because it has stuck in the heads of so many people in all over the world. This particular movie is taking, it's set in Korea, and they're monster hunters that sing. They're in like a pop band. Yes. Yep, Korean popular music. Corin, you've managed to avoid it. Man, I'm proud of you. It's been everywhere. It's all over my Facebook feed. It's just like, it's everywhere. I've had the song Golden stuck on my head for a month. I have this habit though, I love watching animations, whether they be computer generated animations or hand drawn, 2D or 3D. I love animated features and shows, so I watch a lot of them. And so when I saw K-pop Demon Hunters, I was like, I have got to watch this movie. And I did, and it was alright, but the music is just so catchy, and it will not leave my brain. Looks like we are about to start another ad in about a minute and a half, and then we'll have a minute and a half of ads. So once those are done, we're going to come back over to the forge, and we're going to do another heat. But yeah, I have K-pop Demon Hunters Golden stuck in my head right now, and I am resisting with every fiber of my being from just breaking out in song. So, you know, if it happens, I'm sorry. I'm trying my best. I'm good at getting songs stuck in people's heads, though. See, I'm really good at getting songs stuck in my head. It's kind of like I've had songs stuck in my head for as long as I can remember, except for the times when I have brain fog from long COVID. That's always how I know that I'm having a brain fog episode, is that there's no music playing in my head. It's a thing. It's a whole thing. Stream's been relatively quiet today. We've had, we haven't had too terribly many people show up, but that's all right. It's all good to have like a quieter day, and we had some really, really big ones in the last week and a half. We've had some really big streams, so having a few quieter ones isn't too bad. I'll occasionally get a text from a coworker on the weekend causing me or cursing me because I got a song stuck in her head a day or two before. That is awesome. Yeah, like I said, I am constantly getting songs stuck in and out of my head. And I'm constantly trying very hard to get like a different song stuck in my head. because like I said, I can't not have a song. It's just which song can I control it? And sometimes I can and sometimes I can't. But yeah, K-pop Demon Hunters. It is evil how catchy those songs are. Pure evil. So we have an ad going right now, and once that ad is done, we will continue to start folding this piece of steel. I'm actually pretty happy with the shape that we're getting right now. I want to keep the ends open so that I can get the angle grinder in there to clean up the space that's going to be forge welded. So I'm not unhappy with the movement we're getting. I'm just hoping that we can get the spine of it to compress and fold a little bit easier. They get stuck in your head, zombie. That is one of the songs that often gets stuck in my head, or can often get stuck in my head. Particularly when I see a meme that's talking about zombies and stuff, I often get that stuck in my head. So, you know. All right, let's do another heat. You know what? I forgot to move my quench bucket. I'm kind of shocked that it hasn't gotten too hot or, quenched my steel. That's kind of a bad thing, having it there. You can get out of this. You can get out of this a lot. There we go. Starting to compress. Exciting. So the next. I want to keep them nice and straight because it's going to make it a lot easier for us in the long run. To keep these nice and straight. All right, back in the fire. We're getting there. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. And it's also a lot easier to get this thing in and out. Corwin, Menomina. You are trying to make me stuck with a song in my head. Yay, mission successful. Ray's probably going to curse us this evening. I don't know. I mean, honestly, the songs that you guys are bringing up aren't nearly as catchy and they aren't nearly as bad to get stuck in your head. Like, these K-pop Demon Hunter songs, it's just like, I will just be going around, minding my own business, and I'm just singing that. Those are better songs, Like Zombie and Menomina. I like the Muppets. You know the song that my partner always sings to get songs out of my head is the Fraggle Rock theme song. Fraggle Rock is a Muppet TV show that ran on Nickelodeon. And yeah, it's relatively catchy. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, it's the Fraggle Rock theme song. At least I did not go in the jungle, the mighty jungle. In the jungle, yeah. So when I was in high school and like right when I had graduated, for about 2 years, I swear, almost solid, I had the Eeples and Benini song stuck in my head. And it's like a little kiddie song that you sing to like preschoolers to teach them about vowels. And so it's I like to eat apples and bananas, but then you change the vowels in apples and bananas to each of the vowel sounds. And I swear I had that song stuck in my head for 2 years solid. The urge to sing The Lion Sleeps Tonight is just a whim away, a whim away, a whim away. Yes, yes. You guys are gonna get the K-pop Demon Hunter song out of my head. Keep going. Maybe you'll get something by Queen stuck in my head. Let's do another heat. Got to be a little bit careful. We're starting to get, this side is going a little bit too far angled. So we need to open that right back up before we end up screwing it up. Whoa. There we go. That's better. Much more better. All right. So we're going to have to focus on this side. We want to make sure that it doesn't angle in too terribly far or much more. But we are getting a little bit more length here. So we need to squish in this side a little bit. Oh, you are a Swiftie because the player's gonna play. I mean, you can definitely get Shake It Off stuck in my head really, really easily. That is one of her more catchy songs. But if you get that song stuck in my head, it'll automatically go into some other songs. Because when I went to the Eras Tour concert, Shake It Off was actually part of a melody, and so I'll end up like doing the whole melody and getting the whole thing stuck in my head. It was like in a melody with like The Man and a couple other songs. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Yes, Khalees. So if you guys are familiar with Britney Spears, I mean, I don't know if you know why you wouldn't be familiar with Britney Spears, but Britney Spears actually played a concert. I used to work at a concert venue when I was really young. So I was like 17, 18 years old, and I worked at this concert venue, and I was actually working during a Britney Spears concert, and Khalees was one of her opening acts. The Britney Spears concert that I actually was at was the one where she sprained her ankle just before she went crazy. So, you know, it was our venue that made her crazy, maybe. You never know, right? A Smithy Swifty, I am. Did you work at the Mark? I did work at the Mark many, many years ago. But yes, so the Mark of the Quad Cities, which I don't think it's called that anymore. I think it's called, like, it's not even iWireless. I think maybe it's like the Vibrant Center now. It used to be the iWireless Center, but everybody always just calls it the Mark. Cotton Eye Joe. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? I feel like I need to do the whole dance, you know, the little jumpy skip thing. I don't know. Yes. Yes. More songs, guys. What are the ones that always get stuck in you guys' heads? Help me get K-pop Demon Hunters out. All right, let's do another heat. All right. I think now we got to be a little bit careful because we're getting really close to pushing or squishing this exactly the way it was while we were or on Friday. And I definitely don't want to do that. That was not fun. Pulling that apart. There, whoa. Or we could just drop it all over the floor, over and over. All right, so we're getting there. We're getting there. We are, okay, so if we're looking at this, I'm looking for cracks, and I'm not seeing any right now, so that's really good. We want to continue to upset this while maintaining the space that's currently in between them. So that is our current challenge, because I need to be able to get an angle grinder disc in there. So more heat, more heat. I think I want to flip it that direction. There we go. Usually random annoying songs that I haven't heard in a while get stuck in my head out of nowhere. Do you know Happy, Happy, Joy, Joy from the Ren and Stimpy show? Yep, and the log song. I remember those. See, I was not a big Ren and Stimpy fan, like, while it was airing, but I do know the meme of, like, the Happy, Happy, Joy, Joy song, mostly because the kids at school used to sing it when I was in grade school. But that was my only exposure to that. The first record I ever bought to annoy my parents was The Purple People Eater by Shea Woolley. One eye, one horn, flying purple people eater. Yes. Didn't they used to have like a cartoon that went along with that? I kind of remember that. I could be wrong. I could be imagining that because, you know, I definitely fall susceptible to, like, the Mandela effect. And there are several, like, things that I just, I strongly remember them. Like, I strongly remember the movie Shazam with, who was that? Yeah. There was one that was like that, but like Shazam, but with Shaq, and he was a genie, but I swear there was another one. And that's a Mandela effect. It didn't actually occur. Yes, that one in the 50s. Well, yeah, that came along later, though. Oh, okay, so it did come along later. Okay. Yeah. Because I swore I saw, I'm not even sure if I saw it on, like, Sesame Street, but that's the impression that I got. It was something similar to Sesame Street. My hammer has been, like, shaking in the hole. I think I need to drive the wedge in a little bit further. In the 90s or so. Yes, that must have been it. I do remember that. I do remember that. All right, I'm going to do another heat. But first, before I do that, I'm going to make sure that my clips are still clipping. You know what? I think, yeah, I'm just going to leave it here. Ah! As I trip over my light. I'm tripping. So I have a big old light, like, right there, and the cord, like, hangs down, and I tripped over it. Want to know how to fix that? What am I fixing? I always want to know how to fix things. It's getting there. We're getting there. Yay. All right. We're going to heat this back up, and then we're going to move those out a little bit. But we're getting there. We're starting to get to a point where I may actually leave it like that. I don't want them to get any closer than that, though. Get a bucket filled with sand and dunk some old motor oil in the bucket. Then put all your tools with the heads in the sand. The handles will suck up all the oil and get really light. Oh, very tight. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Honestly, though, I think that the reason that my handle is being loose right now is because this is just like a wooden dowel that I bought and turned it into a handle. So I knew that this was kind of a temporary handle. And I did this, like, I don't know, a decade ago. So yeah, it's probably time to do a new handle for it, but I don't really want to use the handle replacement that I used for this hammer because this guy is way too fat. So I don't know, maybe the green sand method will work. So sand and motor oil, well, yeah, clean motor oil. That's actually what you would use for casting with green sand molds. Sometimes people do add things like red iron oxide into it, but you can cast steel in it, or I mean, you can cast, well, I guess you can cast iron in it. You can cast brass, bronze, or glass in green sand. So yeah, that's what I've always called sand with motor oil in it. Green sand. I don't know why it's called green sand, because it's not even like it's green in color, and the motor oil isn't amazingly green. So, as far as like environmentally friendly, I don't know why they call it green sand. Wouldn't you want an oil that would polymerize for that? Otherwise, the wet handle would just get soft. I mean, that would make some sense. You definitely wouldn't want it to just get soft and like remain soft. But like, yeah. Well, I tell you to use old motor oil and fine grained sand, white or such. It's going to clean your tools. I mean, that makes sense, because that's almost like you can almost use that as like a sandblasting, and you're oiling your tools, you're cleaning them off with like any surface rust that's on them. The sand would get rid of that. Do we have enough time? Yep, we do, for one more heat, or maybe more than one more heat before the next ad break. So I want to open this up. So we're going to do that by hammering over the butt end of the anvil. And then we're going to grab it here. Yeah. All right, we'll heat this back up again. But we're starting to get a nice small area, or I guess it's starting to shrink. We are starting to see some upsetting, and that's what we're looking for right now, is to upset this piece. More heat, more heat. You know what? I've done that again. I've done it again. There we go. That's better. Or rather, they like it too much. But gun stocks need to be shiny working tools. They don't need that. I think maybe I missed a comment. Maybe I missed a comment. I don't know. So we're starting to get really close to where I want to be for this axe. Right now what we're doing is we are compressing the back and trying to thin out the area where we're going to be adding the handle in later, while maintaining a C shape where the two ends are parallel to each other, so that we have enough of an opening that we can get an angle grinder in there so that we can clean that inside. We need very clean metal when we are going into forge weld in the bit that we're supposed to be putting in this axe. So we're getting there slowly but surely, and we will definitely have plenty of time to do that on Friday, forge welding that bit in there. They need to be strong. Oil soaked stock will break under recoil. What kind of handle am I putting on that? So I am planning on doing a similar handle to this one. This is, well, probably a thinner handle than this one because this is a really thick handle. But what this is this is a hickory handle that I purchased as a replacement handle for it is a replacement handle for a sledge. And so I bought this guy at my local farm store, and it's just a hickory handle. So I will probably see if I can't find a skinnier hickory handle for this axe. But this is going to be a nice and strong handle for it, even if I just use a thick one like this. So hickory is one of the best handle materials. It's shock absorbing, it's strong, it's sturdy, it's not going to crack on you. Metal bonk on a stick, exactly. Hey, Jack. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Welcome to the stream. So I really messed up last Friday, and so I've spent the last 2 days kind of trying to fix this axe as much as possible. We're starting to get to the point where I think we're almost ready to reforge weld it, and we will be doing that forge welding on Friday. But yeah, right now we're just kind of upsetting the back end of it. And yeah, it seems to be working pretty well. But, you know, it's taken a lot of time and a lot of thought. And a lot of lost sleep. Hickory instead of handle. I get that. Yes. So yeah, I spent a whole night thinking about it. I was dreaming about this axe head. I feel like I get some of my most inspired ideas for artistic and blacksmithing projects overnight. But I'd never like that in the morning, because it's like, you know, I lose sleep because of it. Because I'm only like half asleep when that happens. But it's like in that half dream state, I have to figure out if, you know, what I'm thinking is actually going to work, because in my half dream state, physics doesn't always work the way that I think it's going to. So yeah. It seems like this time it's working out for me. It's just taking a lot of time. Dang, I had to restart Chrome. That's a pretty good way to describe my life. In the dream state. Fixing mistakes takes time. Definitely. I go it through in half dream state, and sometimes physics doesn't work how I think it will, right? Man, especially in blacksmithing. Like, sometimes you have this plan and it just does not work out the way you think it's gonna. Hey, JK Knudsen. Just washing my hands to write, but proper green sand is actually greenish due to its benzonite and olivine. Reduces the quartz shock. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I always forget about the benzonite clay that's in the green sand. Yeah. It's not just oil and sand. There is that benzonite clay in there, or clay body in there. I have actually used oil and sand with no benzonite clay in it. It's a little bit less useful. It packs down fairly nicely, but the benzonite also helps make sure that the oil doesn't like continue to burn. So it was a lot smokier and a lot flamier when I was casting in green sand without the bentonite clay. All right, and it looks like we are in an ad break. So once this ad break is over, we're going to continue to upset this spine. I think, probably, I hope. We do have to open up the 2 leads first. Starting to run out of Gatorade. Or I guess I'm out. Let me take a look at my cameras real fast while we're in an ad break. And I'm just going to roll the flips just because. It's easier that way. All right. And I'm knocking things around. And it's gone. What's gone? What's gone? Is the ad gone? Or did something crazy happen? All right, I'm gonna do another heat. And I got my fingers crossed that nothing crazy is happening with the stream. Okay, it's not wanting to work the way I want it to. We're closing up too much. Okay, let's come over here, see if I can't get it to work this way. Or I'll just drop it again. All right. This did not work the way I wanted it to. I guess we're going to get more heat just so that I am, doing what I need to do. All right, there we go. Carstar Cowboy is raiding with a party of 4. Thank you so much for that raid. Welcome to the stream. Today we are working on fixing an axe that I screwed up on Friday. It's taken me 2 days to kind of fix it. And so we're continuing with that work. So what's happening is that I didn't have my edges, or I'm doing a folded axe, and it is, I left it too thick towards the butt end of this axe. I wanted to turn it into kind of a hammer back, so that if this axe got stuck in a piece of wood, you could just hammer it through and it would complete that chop. But I didn't realize, because this is my first axe, that that's a better project for a punched hole axe. And so I bit off more than I could chew, and I didn't leave the material thin enough for folding around. So now I'm doing my best to kind of fix it a little bit. So right now, our 2 sections are a little bit too close together. I'm trying to open them back up so that they're parallel with each other, because I need to be able to get an angle grinder in there, because we're going to forge weld a bit inside of this axe. Howdy, y'all. Glad I found another blacksmith to raid to. Yes. So you want to make a splitting axe? I do. I mean, as it's my first axe and I don't really know what I'm doing, it's probably, going to be a little bit less of a splitting axe, but, I'm trying. We'll see what it turns out when we're done with it. But yes, welcome to the stream. I am a blacksmith. I've been blacksmithing for about 10 years, and then I took a 5-year break. So, I mean, I've been a blacksmith for 15 years, but I did take a 5-year break because I got really sick in 2020. And so we're getting back into blacksmithing. And because we've been working out in the shop for about 8-9 months now, I'm starting to go through my bucket list projects. We just made ourselves my first hammer, and this is my first axe. So we're kind of learning as we go. I have a good idea for how this will work, or should work, but it doesn't always go the way I want it to. So yeah. But welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for joining us. I am always looking for new smiths out in the community to raid to and, to talk to and things. Community is community. Why not use a hand file to clean the gap? Then you can take it down to the thickness of the file. I actually ended up using an angle grinder to take down some of that thickness already. But I'm still intent on making that back hammer face. So I still think it's possible. It's just going to be difficult. So, I mean, I could do it that way, and, I probably should. But I'm a glutton for punishment, and I'm stubborn as a mule, so we're doing it. I have been doing the trade for a whopping 2 weeks now, so I've been learning a lot through trial and error, mostly error. See, that makes sense. And thank you so much for your follow. Welcome to the community. I do have quite a bit of knowledge, so if you ever have any questions or need any advice, I have answers, or some answers, and we also have quite a few blacksmiths that stop in from time to time. Jack Frost is one of them. And we also have Corwin, who is also a blacksmith. So there are always people around who can answer questions that you might or may not have. A little over a year something here. Yeah. So we do our best. But this is a learning stream, so, I don't always get everything perfect the first time, but we learn. We grow. And I think that's part of the charm of this community. Learning together. All right, I'm going to do another heat. Let's see if I can't open up this piece like I want to. I probably can. Having a little bit of trouble, but there we go. It's starting to open again. We'll come over here where that's a little bit more open. It's opening just slowly. I'm being a little bit stubborn, I think. And I'm dropping things again, like I always do. All right, I think that's open enough for the moment. So what I'm going to do is for my next heat, we're going to do a little bit more upsetting on this back spine. So I want to make sure that that is all nice and heated. So yeah, I am primarily a blacksmith on the channel, but if you're asking what I am the best at doing, it's probably actually jewelry. I used to be a professional jewelry repair tech, and I am a journeyman jeweler. I also have a lot of background in silversmithing, specifically vessel raising, and casting. So I have a little bit of background in a lot of different metals. This is just the most fun, I think. The most exciting to watch. I am out of water again, aren't I? Or liquid, I guess. It's not too hot anymore like it was before. We were in the upper 90s, and so we were at a huge amount of heat in the shop with the forge. We were at 120, 130 degrees sometimes. We were at a heat advisory, but today it's actually relatively cool. So that's exciting, exciting, exciting. Apparently it is only 79 outside. It's probably well in the mid 80s in here though. So yeah, we are starting to finish up a little bit, but I've got a little bit more to go. And we will be back on Friday to forge weld the bit into this axe, and we'll be out in the carport with the coal forge again. Absolutely, I may swing by and pick your brain once in a while, though I got a raid and dash since my real job needs me. I'll definitely be back though. Awesome. Well, welcome to the stream. You can check me out on YouTube for all my VODs and things like that. I also have a Discord that you can join, and I'm available when you comment on, Discord or on YouTube, and here when I'm live. So have fun, and welcome to the community. I think I'm going to try one more time to open this up. I still want to make sure that we are not closing this axe so that I have plenty of room and space to grind the area that I need to forge weld. So we're going to do another heat, and we're going to try very, very hard to open this up. Maybe it's not going to work. Maybe it will. Oh, it's starting to open up a little bit. Or maybe not. It's being dumb. I don't know. All right, back in the heat. Or we'll just like drop it again a couple more times because that's what we do around here on this stream. There we go. Okie doke. If you have a long parting tool for the hardy, that might help you to open it. I don't actually. I don't. I don't have a lot of hardy tools for this particular anvil because most of my hardy tools are for my other anvil. I have two anvils. One is a 1-inch hardy. This one is a 3/4 hardy. And so most of my hardies are for the other anvil. I need to make a bunch of them, and I do have intentions on once this axe is done, we're going to make a hot cut. And that would help quite a bit. So, let's see. I'll bet you this would work. This is a bending bar. Let's see if I can't make this work. I bet it will. I'm going to move this camera so you guys can see me struggle with this bending bar. And we shall see. But yeah, I don't have a lot of hardy tools. I do need to make a point to make some for this particular anvil, but I don't do a lot of like major projects that require a lot of hardy tools. Even when I'm doing hot cutting, I often will use the corner of my anvil. I don't know. But yeah. Okay, let's try this. Let's see if these bending bars will work. Not amazingly well, but maybe. I suppose it would help if I don't know. This is not going to work the way I wanted it to. Well, you know what? I don't know. I really don't. More heat. We're just gonna more heat. As I flounder. So I think I have just enough space to do what I need to do. So I'm going to do a couple more heats and to see if I can't open this up just a little bit further, and beyond that, we're probably going to end the stream. I'm starting to get a little bit frustrated with this process, and that's never good. So we're starting to get to the end of the stream. We will definitely be ready to forge weld this piece on Friday, and that will happen. I have my partner to help us out with that. I think we're actually in a much better place than we were when we left off on Friday. So it will happen, and I'll be able to fix this. So we shall see how that works. Now I'm trying to picture Angry Ray. Well, I'm not angry yet, but I can see it. And Angry Ray is not a pleasant sight. When I get terribly angry, I have a tendency to throw things, and yeah, there's too much equipment that if I threw, I would damage it. It's too expensive. So I need to quit while I am still calm enough to have or to think rationally. I don't know. It's not like this is necessarily a bad thing. I do have enough space to get the angle grinder in between the two sections. So I'm not in a terrible place. It would be nice to have or to be able to open it a little bit further. There are no known witnesses of Angry Ray. There is three known witnesses. But that's all right. All right, we've got plenty of heat, so we're gonna try this. We'll do another heat. I'm not entirely sure what I'm gonna do with it. Parents and partner. Yep, that'd be them. Although I don't think my partner has seen me quite as mad as my parents have. Normally I'm really good at keeping my cool. Overall. And I'm still not really angry, just a little bit frustrated. If you have your other parting tool nearby, can you put it in the vise and get a proper down strike? I'm not entirely sure what you're asking or what advice you're giving me. I'm not sure I understand it. There we go. That's what I wanted. Hex yes. Winning. Look it, it's parted again. Hex yes. All right. I think I should probably stop while I'm ahead, actually. We will continue to shape this section here when we are, or like on Friday. What I want to do is I'm going to leave it in this U shape right now. We're going to grind out and clean up the interior of this, we're going to forge weld the bit. Then we're going to close it, forge weld it, and then I will readdress this area when I don't have to worry about how close these two are. So I think that's actually going to help us in this case. So I think I'm just going to leave that there for the moment. Huzzah! Yes. That is exactly how I'm feeling right now. Huzzah. Alright. So, with that, I'm probably going to end the stream just because it's nice and started. I'll have plenty of room to clean up the interior of this, and we will be able to forge weld this on Friday. So I will see you guys then, and we will be back out in the carport. We're gonna do forge welding 2 Fridays in a row. So thank you all for joining me today. I've had a blast, all things considered. Thank you, Corwin. I hope you have a great evening too. Thanks for the stream. See you Friday. Thanks, Mahalo. I actually have been able to update this guy, the end screen. So yay. All right, let's see who is around to raid. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know. Ooh. Blacksmith Dan. Yes. Let's raid Blacksmith Dan. Thank you guys so much for joining me. We're going to have some more fun by raiding Dan. Have an amazing day, and I will see you Friday.